From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
What's going on, nerds, and welcome to this week's episode of the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast. We're talking about 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. Hi, Susie. Hi, Will. How's your
hair matches your shirt?
How's your Pokemon doing?
Wow.
You
mean his pals?
Nope. The Pokemon. You could see her.
Oh, Pokemon.
Oh. It's a baby.
You know, it would make a hell of a lot more sense if it actually happened at your wedding where we got that gigantic blow-up Pokeball and you just yeeted it at Susie. You wouldn't yeet it at him. He would yeet it at you.
I'm aware.
We had it planned, and then somebody that was actually getting married that day kind of said no.
I told you if you threw anything. Dude, I had to put a kibosh to my father-in-law and my brother-in-law using the rubber chickens to make noises through the whole wedding.
That would have been great. I was there for that.
Hilarious, but I would have killed both of them. So,
I mean, I would have enjoyed it. But Susie, what are we talking about today?
Godzilla vs. Kong.
And I know we kind of had some words to go into this from last week's episode. So, care to now clue in our audience on why this movie is meh for you?
So, Godzilla and then Godzilla King of Monsters. And I know Carly would disagree with me on a bunch of my points, but they had a story. They had a universe that worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bring in Godzilla vs. Kong. And yes, are they natural? There's too many things going in too many different directions.
Mm-hmm.
It's another movie where we don't need that much of a human element, and we have a lot of it.
Actually, no. In this case, there's not enough.
There's actually not enough of it.
There's not enough of the human
element.
Really?
Because it was humans who designed Mecha.
So
they barely touched upon the design of Mecha.
But the problem I have is that we barely get to see Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Monarch we know, the ones we have gotten used to with Godzilla, we barely get to see Monarch.
They basically
Monarch's not defending Godzilla like they should be. Like it's a mess. It's a really good story,
mm-hmm.
just not well carried out. They put too many things in the movie. They should not have had Kong and Mecha Godzilla in that movie. It's too many elements going on at once.
While the Avengers did it well, having all those elements, this I felt like failed on giving everybody the, I don't want to say respect that they deserved, but I felt kind of shortchanged in a little bit with Godzilla, Kong, and then the mecha. Because the mecha, you see him for about a 4-minute scene in the middle of the movie, then nothing until it's go time.
So they have the core of the movie. The core of the movie is great. But they needed to work on how everything connected to that core.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they failed.
Exactly.
And they failed so bad that there was talks about whether they were continuing on with the universe. Which I'm happy that they're coming out with a Godzilla and Kong New Empire movie. So
That should be fun. Like they had their battle in the beginning, and th- today was the first time I saw this movie, and I kind of thought it was going to go the way of a lot of these movies go. Oh, first one wins the fight, then the second one wins the second fight, and then something happens in the third one where they both kind of work together to beat the one evil. Well, you skipped that second fight entirely, basically.
So they didn't.
Are you calling that second fight the lead up to Mecha coming out, and then the Mecha fight? Okay.
Because technically that fight did, in a sense, end before Mecha was involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had that trope of one wins one, the other one wins the other, and then boom, here comes the actual baddie. Which whose head were they using to scream knowledge? Because that was genius, and I love that it kicked them completely out of the system and started thinking for itself. The Hydra.
Oh, so that is the head of
Is it Ghidorah?
That is the head of Ghidorah. And
Ghidorah kicked them right out of the system and then killed them all.
So Ghidorah didn't. It did, but it didn't. It more had to do with the electrical shockwave that happened that fried. I'll think of his name. I will think of his name. He was probably in the first two movies. Why I can't think of his name now?
I'm trying to think of what you're talking about.
Ken Watanabe's character.
Oh, I don't fucking know what his character's name is, but I know who you're talking about.
Serizawa.
There you go.
Serizawa's son.
Perfect.
His brain gets fried in that electrical surge.
Yep.
And because they brought up energy from the Middle Earth or whatever you want to call it, Earth,
I am a dwarf.
they overpowered the system. So there's it's more than just Ghidorah kicked them out.
Mhm.
It was a whole host of things that led up to giving them the boot.
And I very much enjoyed the movie. And before we go any further, hi everybody, hit that like button, subscribe, follow if you're on Facebook. The wonderful art you see over here was made by, once again, the fabulous James Fair. James, if you're watching it, throw your links down in the chat. But yeah, also merch, cool merch, got it. Not this, obviously, but go check it out. That link's down in the description. But where the fuck was I going? Oh, I very much enjoyed this movie more than I was expecting because I thought it was going to be too crowded. And even though I felt kind of shortchanged with everything going on, the fight scenes and the destruction from those fight scenes were so fun to watch everybody else just, we're fucked kind of thing. Millie
Bobby Brown.
Thank you. Blah, 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 her name. She reprises her role from King of Monsters, and I that's what I wanted from the first Godzilla. Was I wanted to see family to family to like continuous line, not okay. We love Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson, but they're only in the first one.
Which I don't think we're getting with the new movie, which makes me sad.
No,
But
it's bullshit.
no, I want to hear Will's take on this because he hasn't talked much. But
Yeah, speak, boo boo, speak.
I think it's definitely like a flaw in the plot design of the patterns. Like you see where Godzilla is attacking,
Mhm.
but you're not looking at what else is there that's causing this. And instead, you're just automatically blaming Godzilla and not realizing that there might be a motive behind it.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
And like it's a huge flaw. It's a huge flaw in this because Monarch has stood behind Godzilla for 2 movies, and now all of a sudden you're going to turn around and be like, "Oh no, we're just going to worry about impact control." Godzilla must have just lost his mind.
Yeah, that bothered me too. Now that you say it. Will, what are your thoughts on the flip of Monarch?
It I didn't like it, but the downside is it sort of made sense. Only because of who was currently running Monarch.
Mm-mm.
That's
Mm-mm.
that's the Apex people you're thinking of, I think.
No, it was the dad of Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, but he turned on Godzilla at the end of King of Monsters, so you can't use that.
Um, I can because it shows how he still doesn't fully trust. He doesn't fully trust Godzilla. That's so at the
Yeah, but
moment that something went wrong, he was very quick to change it back. Oh, this is just Godzilla.
no, I think there was more to it. I don't think it was the dad. I think that the government's kind of putting the screws to Monarch
That very well could be the case, but
because
that is
because at the end of King of Monsters, he had changed his tune entirely to Godzilla and wanted to honor Serizawa's name. I doubt he would have flipped that fast
Hmm.
on Godzilla. You're not wrong, but like I really think that there's more to it than that, and I wish we had gotten in like an in between
Yeah.
rather than just jump into Godzilla's killing all these things.
So overall, I thought it was a very fun movie. There wasn't really part of the movie that I was like, all right, I could step away from this. We don't need it. What did you have any part of the movie where you felt like, all right, this part isn't needed, or was there a part of the movie where you're like, I want more of this?
I think the first fight with Godzilla versus Kong, I hate that fight. I think it's the dumbest fight ever.
Why is
And
that? Because I enjoyed it just because Kong was handicapped for half of it.
right, which is about the only reason that I do enjoy it. But at the same time, it's another one of those plot things that they break at the end of the movie because they point out that Godzilla's attacking where Apex is.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he all of a sudden attack Kong in the middle of the ocean? He has not gone anywhere near Skull Island.
Mm-hmm.
Why now, all of a sudden, does he attack in the middle of the ocean?
Because that's where the Apex people are. Dun, dun, dun.
You know, that'd be a nice change, but like, it's like a glaring plot hole.
I think the logic they tried to use without explaining it, and I say this without explaining it, is that they could have been that he was attacking Apex because he was detecting an Apex predator. The logic I think they were trying to use was, oh, he detected another Apex predator because that's Kong is, so that's why he went after Kong. I feel like that's the logic they tried to use without explaining it, and they should have fucking explained it.
So that's the logic that they go with. That's why they turned so harshly against Godzilla because he was killing all the apex predators. That was really the reason why Monarch turned against him. Is
I
because
think
he
they
was
actually mentioned that. I think they
They
say it
do.
like once, but it was
They
like
mentioned
a throwaway line.
But again, the problem I have with that is when you get towards the end of the movie, Millie Bobby Brown points it out. He's attacking where the apex facilities are.
Yeah,
So
no
there's
shit.
like I don't I it's one of those things that just like it bothers me that like okay, wait, you pointed out that he's primarily like he's attacking apex facilities, which clearly is where they're moving Mecha Godzilla. And yet he's never gone near Skull Island, and now all of a sudden he wants to attack Kong in the middle of the ocean? What?
So
It
was able to, and it showed the movie to ground Kong.
yeah. She was family.
Yeah, and you could see, and I'm a big stiffler for CGI and bad CGI. You could see it in Kong's face. Like the only thing I was missing out of that was maybe him, you know, patting her like very gently, or putting his paw out or hand out and have her just sit right on it or stand right on it.
Mhm.
But I loved her. I loved that they basically, I don't want to say made her disabled, but she can't hear anything at all. And while she's still frightened on everything going on, she's just, "Hi, big gigantic ape. I have you in doll version." Um
Well, you also have to understand that she grew up on the island. She was part of the natives. So she grew up knowing Kong,
mhm,
interacting with him and everything else. She was the only one he could save.
yeah. Uh what about you guys? Anything else you guys want to throw in here before we close up shop and
What you got? Yeah. And
but you kind of see why they want to keep going with this. Oh,
yeah,
another
but
thing. The
the reviews were
yeah,
so so they weren't sure whether they wanted to continue or not.
okay.
Um, but I mean, it's making them money, and as long as they're doing good stories, they're gonna keep bringing us back.
Oh, absolutely. And another thing before we bring it home, the musical score throughout this movie is so impactful and probably the reason why so many scenes hit, like when they finally step off the ship in the, what do they call the realm halfway through that they went to? Well, you know what I'm talking about. Where they go down to the center of the earth and it's like, hey, it's livable down here. Um,
The Hollow Earth.
there you go. Thank you, Will. Um, when they finally step off and they see everything going on and how the music just swells and just takes over everything, it is very impactful that you could see Kong is finally where he belongs. He's kind of, I don't want to say on his own throne in a way, but everybody, I think if you're into anything gigantic creature wise,
I ran out of water, so I'm eating my ice. Um, I remember the other thing, AJ.
ah shit.
If you have Apple TV, you need to check out the series Monarch, which takes place between Godzilla and Godzilla King of Monsters.
Okay.
Um, it shows the origin of Monarch, how it started, and it also shows everything happening from when Godzilla, you know, defeated the monsters in San Francisco
Yep.
to it doesn't it hasn't quite caught up to present day or like King of Monsters present day.
Hmm.
They've only done one season. I don't think they've greenlit for season 2, but it's definitely worth checking out. Kurt Russell is amazing in this. His son is amazing in this. Um,
Oh, U.S. agent's in it.
huh?
U.S. agent, his son from
Yeah.
Falcon and the no,
Wyatt Russell?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
It's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's in that one.
the TV show.
Yeah. Um, both of them are fantastic in this. It's I was kind of hesitant when I started watching it because I wasn't sure what all they were going to show.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy it. Like I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. Um, but it's definitely like and it clearly does flashbacks versus present day. Like you can clearly tell the difference and you know what time you're talking about. Like it's clear. It's
Okay.
not you're not guessing, which is great. Um, so I would highly recommend it, especially if you have Apple TV and you haven't seen it, go watch it.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This was the
We're not done.
We're not.
We're not done.
What did I forget?
You forgot about Knuckles.
Ask the guy behind you. How excited is he?
Will, Can you tell us about the TV show Knuckles?
It looks really good.
How many episodes are there?
6.
Where is it premiering?
Paramount Plus.
When? Got him. I think Susie's looking it up right now, but we also got a Moana 2 trailer that's going to be coming out in November. Speculation, not confirmed. I wonder if it's replacing the live action. Because we haven't heard anything from the live action.
Yeah, it premieres April 26th of this year. Knuckles.
And then we got another trailer for Inside Out 2, which I think comes out sometime this June.
Yeah, I think so.
So Disney's going to hopefully have a bounce back year. Hopefully.
Yeah. You know what would be really nice?
What?
What the people would really like to see?
What?
Another Big Hero 6 movie.
Yes, please.
Did you know that was one of the highest grossing movies that they never made a sequel for?
I think we just need a Baymax movie.
We got the Baymax series.
Going
Yeah, the
around
Baymax
saving
series.
people.
Big Hero 6 has a TV show. I need a sequel movie.
I wonder what they would do. Well, they can
And
just figure it
Big
out.
Hero 6 did get a series. It had a 3-season series that takes place after the movie. But they could do a new Big Hero 6 movie accounting for that series.
I mean, they had a whole comic series. At one point, they joined the Avengers. So, like,
Everything
right?
joined the Avengers.
Yeah,
Phineas and
okay.
Ferb.
Thank you. He didn't correct me, so I wasn't sure.
They are a different universe, though.
Yeah.
They're a different Earth. But Avengers exist in their Earth. It's just San Francisco exists.
All right, everybody. Susie, got anything else?
No.
Outside, be on the lookout for Anime Corner in the next couple weeks.
Oh yes, Anime Corner. We're starting with Big Heroes. Big Hero 6.
I say. We were talking about one Japanese thing, so let's go to another.
Yeah, we're starting with My Hero Academia season 1. Movies are not in season 1, so you don't need to catch up on the movies yet.
Yeah.
So if you wanna join us, that'll be premiering in a couple of weeks. So go get caught up, and then we'd love to hear your takes.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I needed an excuse to rewatch My Hero again.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I think that's it. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let us hear your thoughts, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. What are your thoughts on 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong? Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was rushed like we did, or at least I did? But
And I'm really happy that they waited. I mean, the new movie's not coming out until this year, so I'm really happy they waited as long as they did for this to come out.
half hours, we're gonna have a wrestling show coming out doing the reaction to the WrestleMania 40 kickoff press conference, where there's supposed to be a lot of shit going on at that press conference. Might be a fight or two. I haven't checked my phone. It's like an MMA or boxing one where they all like what?
Super Bowl's this weekend, isn't it?
It is Sunday.
Okay, so everyone stay safe on Sunday, please. Please and thank you.
Yeah, don't drink and drive. And if you drink, don't drive. My dumbass would get pulled over for drinking and driving, and it's a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
All right, bye everybody.